I just woke up, only to find a gold chain tied to my left hand, and the other end of the chain is tied to my nemesis, who is also my childhood friend, Z. I didn't hesitate for a moment, and pulled the woman up. Big fool Chen, what are you doing? How dare you sleep in my bed? Ziakian had no sleepiness on her face, and not even much surprise. Just slightly curled her red lips, looking at me with a face full of smiles. I raised my left wrist. What is going on? Untie me immediately. Showing the gold chain to her, Ziakian's emotions instantly became a bit agitated. You want to go find Yuan Tiantian again, don't you? Don't even think about it. You will never see her again in your life. I scratched my head and asked, who is this Yuan? Whatever, Tian, why would I go find her? Now it was Yakian's turn to freeze, but she only paused for 1 second. She quickly thought of my previous actions. Seeing that she didn't answer, I started observing the surroundings myself. A very large room. The decor looks very expensive at first glance. Yakian thought I was going to go crazy again, and spoke sarcastically. What do you want to do? Want to smash my head with a vase again? Or do you want to? Me again? I didn't listen to her words, and simply looked around the environment, having countless questions. Where is this? Your house, but I remember your house doesn't look like this. Also, why am I here? Why am I tied together with you? Why are we sleeping in the same bed? What did you do to me? This gold chain is an alloy, right? It shouldn't be real gold, right? You don't know where this is? A house you bought secretly behind my back. Hidden and kept away from me. What do you mean? Suddenly I saw a strange thing. A line of translucent text appeared out of thin air. Here it comes, here it comes. The male lead is pretending to have amnesia again to trick his villain wife. Feeling bad for my boss Z for a second. How long can he pretend this time? I bet no more than a day. The second female lead has definitely already seen through it. This is the third time Hayes acting it out. The second female lead definitely won't believe it anymore. By the way, is Yuan Tiantian online today? No. Bad review. What's so good about the female lead anyway? Can we look at our poor second female lead wife? Male lead, female lead, villain wife? I recognize every single word, but connected together, they send a chill down my spine. This sense of absurdity? Did I transmigrate? No, I am myself. The woman across from me is my childhood friend. That's Yaki, who has always been at odds with me since childhood. You don't remember Yuan Tian? Then what do you remember? I didn't answer her question. I'm married. You are my wife. How is this possible? Kyo Chen, if you want a divorce, it's absolutely impossible. I won't let you be with Yuan Tian, even if I die. Don't even think about being with Yuan Tiantian. I'm not even 20 yet. How could I be married? It's definitely a fake certificate. This marriage is illegal. How old are you this year? 19 years old. Yakian's pupils trembled. Her heartbeat skipped a beat. Then she calmed down. Kiao Chen, I can't be bothered to waste time with you. Stop acting. How many times have you pretended to have amnesia? Aren't you bored? I still find you a waste of time. Stop going to look for Yuan Tiantian. She doesn't really love you. Amnesia. I don't have amnesia. Yesterday I finished the 800-meter race at the sports meeting and got first place. I sprained my ankle while showing off to you. But the current situation, I seem to have no impression of it. Yaxin's face looked more and more wrong as she listened. Her eyes deadlocked on me. Econ met Yuan Tiantian shortly after that. If Econ really has amnesia, it's normal that he just said he doesn't know Yuan Tiantian. You are not 19 this year. You are 26 this year. We have been married for 4 years. 4 years. A full 4 years? I don't believe it. I'm clearly only 19. And how could I marry you? You used to say that even if all the men in the world died, you still wouldn't like me. Today, I will temporarily believe you. If I find out you're lying to me again, next time it won't be just a chain to lock you. I looked at the chain and curiously asked Yaxin, is this chain real, gold, or an alloy? Real, but it's 18K. Pure gold has low hardness. Isn't that still an alloy? Made me happy for nothing. Yaxin's voice became a bit gentler. Tell me what you want to buy. I'll buy it for you. Have you changed your personality? In the past, getting some pocket money from you was not easy at all. Saying that all your money belongs to your husband, now you are quite generous. You are my husband now. How could I be married to you? Are you sick or am I sick? You wouldn't lie to me, right? Yakian took the marriage certificate from the bedside and threw it to me to look at. It's real, the kind with a steel seal. I looked at the date on it. 22 years old, we got married the year we graduated. Morning light passed through the huge floor-to-ceiling windows. Yakian sat in the dining room, her gaze faintly sweeping over me. Nanny Wong said politely, "Son-in-law breakfast is ready." I stared at the breakfast on the table, my eyes lit up. Yakion calmly observed me. As I ate, I shouted towards the kitchen. Nanny Wong, your cooking is amazing. Nanny Wong poked her head out of the kitchen. I'm glad you like it, sir. Eat more if you like it. I really like it, I said, stuffing another pan-fried bun into my mouth. Chang looking so happy like this. How long has it been since I last saw it? What if this is fake? In the blink of an eye, that gentleness that was almost overflowing was instantly covered in frost. If Econ is just doing this to lower my guard, in order to lead me again to find Yuan Tiantian, I will give Econ a chance. I will wait. Observe and judge. This thought was like a venomous snake, wrapping around Yakian's heart. She put down the coffee cup. If Econ wants to lie to me again, that specially made gold cage in the basement has always been missing something to live inside it. I wouldn't mind letting Econ live in it again. I suddenly spoke. ZXC, why don't I remember your family being so rich before? This villa isn't cheap, right? Did you earn it? How much money have you earned these years? The old Econ never asked about my assets and didn't care about anything of mine. Econ only thought about Yuan Tian, only cared about Yuan Tian, and wanted to please Yuan Tian. Yakian took a deep breath. Not expensive, just a bit over 300 million. I still have a net worth of tens of billions now. My eyes, from the moment I heard 300 million, went wide open. Hearing she had tens of billions, my eyeballs almost popped out. This is too rich. I put down my chopsticks and looked at her seriously. You said we are a legal married couple now, right? You want to split the marital property? Hey, half of your net worth is mine. That is to say, I am also, take off your clothes. Now, that's not very good, right? How about we go back to the room? Anyway, Yaxon and I are already married, even if I take them off. So what? I'm not losing out. My smile was bright, without a trace of gloom. Yaxon saw my joyful expression and couldn't help but echo. Is he really having amnesia this time? Before, even if Econ pretended, he couldn't hide his disgust towards me. I still need to observe a bit more. Econ, we have a prenuptial agreement. Prenuptial agreement. If we divorce, you leave with nothing. My expression immediately fell. Truly a massive blow. You actually guarded against me. Yaki? I didn't expect you to be this kind of person. You've disappointed me too much. When we got married, this was something you brought up yourself. I brought it up. Why? My brain dead? Acting noble to the point of not even wanting money. Because the Econ back then didn't really want to marry me at all. Econ was just heartbroken by Yuan Tiantian at the time and only reluctantly agreed to marry me. The prenuptial agreement was also something Econ insisted on signing. He repeatedly emphasized to me, we are just a fake married couple. How did we even get married, and also, who exactly is Yuan Tiantian? I continued to press for answers. Just when I asked this question, my gaze once again looked at those bullet comments. Husband Yuan Tiantian is your wife. Please. His wife is Z, the legal kind too. Wifey Z and hubby E are the match made in heaven. Ill fight you group of people who want the second female lead to take the top spot. To the end, the cheating woman doesn't deserve to be the female lead at all. Tisk. Wait until the male lead remembers. He will definitely return to the female lead's side. You bunch of clowns. Please, don't tear apart the official pairing. Okay, from these bullet comments, I roughly understood that myself and Ziyaki, and that Yuan whatever Tiantian are from a romance novel. The male lead, the villain's second female lead, and the cheating female lead. But what does this woman really look like? To actually make me willing to commit suicide for her? Ziyaki hesitated on the side for a long time and opened her mouth saying, Yuan Tiantian is your first love. You kept lying to me for her. All kinds of deceit. All kinds of lies. Why would I sign a prenuptial agreement? I really am a big fool, Chen. Seeing me like this? Econ, you woke up early in the morning with amnesia. And now you're even starting to scold yourself. Need me to call the family doctor over? I shook my head. No need. I'm fine. Yakion took all my abnormalities and so strange. Econ's actions today are all too strange. Could it be that Econ secretly contacted Yuan Tiantian? What did Yuan Tiantian say to Econ again? This amnesia, is it really just a carefully planned act? With the goal of making me lower my guard, but everything also feels like returning to the past. Returning to the time when Econ didn't love Yuan Tiantian. Yakian's eyes faded. The suspicion in her heart grew madly like vines. Yakian finished breakfast. There is still work to handle at the company, and she was just getting ready to head out. I haven't finished eating yet. Seeing Yakian about to leave, I followed her. Asking casually, where are you going? To work? I nodded and said, I forgot. Then what about me? Where do I work? You are not allowed to go out. I raised my head and said, why? You think I'm lying to you? Your credibility with me is not high. I really don't remember the events of these 6 years. I don't even remember that Yuan, or Bihan, or who she is anymore. What else can I do? Since you forgot, then stay obediently at home. Not allowed to go out? Don't think about escaping. There are bodyguards at home. Z Yakian's eyes were full of disbelief as she spoke. Phone, I've already agreed to stay indoors. You should at least give me my entertainment tool, right? I'll have someone bring a new one to you later. I smiled and gave her an okay gesture. Okay. Z Yakian just took one step out the door. When she said to the bodyguards, keep a close watch. The son-in-law is not allowed to go anywhere, and especially not allowed to see anyone, especially Yuan Tuintian. Yes, Boss Z. Boss Z, there is a very important bidding meeting tonight. It's Z Corporation and Yuan Corporation, along with many other companies participating in the bidding. Z Yakian's assistant was by her side, reporting today's work schedule. The assistant also knew about what happened to me this morning, and couldn't help but feel a bit worried. Every time the son-in-law pulls this kind of stunt, it's all to help Yuan Corporation snatch projects. Although Yuan Corporation's competitor is not just Z Corporation, but Z Corporation is their most powerful competitor. The assistant also knew about what happened to me this morning and couldn't help but feel a bit worried. Once Z Corporation is dealt with, there will be no one able to compete against Yuan Corporation. Speak directly. Boss Z? Could the son-in-law be pretending? Just to lower your guard, and then pull off a big move during the evening meeting? The son-in-law has already ruined Z Corporation's cooperations many times, but Boss Z always spoils the son-in-law very much. Even if losing a lot of profit, the company's shareholders have a lot of complaints, and she still refuses to divorce. The son-in-law is really blind, not seeing such a good wife, and insisting on chasing after a scumbag woman, feeling it's not worth it for Z Yakian. If such a situation really occurs, you should prepare alternative plans in advance. No matter what happens, we must secure this project this time. Instead of letting the son-in-law's actions mess up your pace, what Boss Z said is right. At home, after eating and drinking my fill, I lay back on the bed. I must say, this bed is really big. The bedding is all made of silk, soft and smooth. The mattress is also very soft, and it's even smart and adjustable. I feel like I don't even need to go to the living room. In the past, the Kiao family and Z family were considered moderately wealthy and could afford these kinds of furniture, but definitely not including such a large villa. I still haven't figured it out yet. How exactly this girl Z Yakian takes revenge on people? How could she be so successful to this extent? I watched the bullet comments still rolling in real time. They were all unimportant things and some nonsense, without any substantive information, so I couldn't be bothered to look. I hadn't been scrolling for long when a new message popped up on the new phone. Econ, today's project is a very important one. You must help me stall Z. Once I defeat Z Corporation, we will get married. Just as I was completely baffled, I looked at the bullet comments in midair. The female lead still has the nerve to trick the male lead. The male lead will definitely agree. He loves the female lead so much. Hard to say. The male lead has amnesia now. Who still remembers she is the female lead. The male lead's amnesia hasn't been confirmed yet. Maybe it's just pretending to confuse the second female lead. This project today is very important. Whoever gets it can leave the other far behind. Begging the male lead to stop making trouble? Now I finally understood. So the one who sent me the message, is that scumbag woman Yuan or Bian? I rolled over and continued scrolling on my phone. Another 10 minutes or so passed. I still didn't have any reply on my end. Yuan Tiantian finally realized something was wrong and started using sweet words to coax me into doing things for her. I got annoyed and blocked her. Yuan Tiantian didn't expect me to block her. How could I be blocked? Have I been neglecting him too much lately? Yuan Tiantian immediately sent me a few more sweet messages, probably trying to say that her relations with other men are fake, just cooperative relationships, and the only one she loves in her heart is me. Making money is to marry me, including this project, all to be able to treat me better in the future. I directly replied to her with a V. MI 5 million. Let's see your power. Yuan Tiantian immediately changed her tune. Econ, you've changed. You weren't such a materialistic man before. You used to be pure and innocent, beautiful and kind, like ice and snow. Have you been spending too much time with Z? You've been influenced by her. You need to stay away from her. I'm working hard for our future now. Why can't you help me and be considerate of me? I frowned and fell into muttering in my heart. Would I really like this kind of manipulative woman? Did I transmigrate or get amnesia? But regardless, there's no way I would like this kind of woman, right? I couldn't be bothered to talk nonsense with this idiot and blocked her phone number too. Turning my head to continue playing on my phone, on the way to the bidding meeting, Nanny Wong from the Z residence called Z Yak. Hello, Nanny Wong. Before Z Yakian could ask her the reason for calling. Miss, the son-in-law has been vomiting at home and has stomach aches. Hay's in so much pain, Hay's rolling on the floor. Where's the family doctor? I just called the doctor. They will be here soon. The son-in-law wanted to call an ambulance, but the bodyguards won't let him, saying they need your permission. Tell those idiots to call 120 immediately. If anything happens to the son, they can all get lost. They immediately dialed 120, not daring to delay a moment longer. Z Yakian hung up the phone and ordered the driver to turn around. Boss Z, our bidding meeting is about to start. Yet the son-in-law gets a stomachache at this exact time. The assistant Juju sitting in the front row reminded her, I know what you mean. But to me, Econ will always be first. Even if every boy who cried wolf is a lie to me, I will still continue to believe him next time. Econ can make a fuss and lie to me countless times, but I cannot ignore him even once. I am not a lucky person. I cannot lose Econ, and I cannot bear the pain of losing Econ. Juju opened her mouth, wanting to advise further, but ultimately just replied, yes, the black Rolls Royce. At the intersection right before entering the bidding meeting venue, neatly made a U and sped off towards the direction of the Z residence. Ziakian took a deep breath. It's not like I haven't thought about it. This might be another carefully orchestrated accident. The timing is too coincidental. And the goal might be to stop me from going to the bidding meeting, but I have no choice. I can't afford to gamble. I don't dare to gamble. Even if the boy who cried wolf story plays out 100 times, I will still run to Econ without hesitation on the 101st time. Her phone vibrated at this moment. It was a message from Nanny Wong. The ambulance has arrived and is taking the son-in-law to the hospital. Juju quickly used the tablet to handle the matters of postponing the bid, while Z Yakian kept staring out the window. The car braked sharply in front of the hospital's emergency building. Almost the instant the car stopped completely, Z Yakian rushed inside. At the emergency room door, Nanny Wong and several bodyguards were waiting anxiously there. Seeing her, Nanny Wong said, Miss. Z Yakian's voice had a noticeable tremble. Where is the son-in-law Hayes inside? The doctor is examining him. Z Yakian walked up to the emergency room door. Looking through the glass window on the door, she could only see figures moving around inside. She clenched her fists, forcing herself to calm down, turned around and looked at the bodyguards standing by with hands down, who blocked the call for the ambulance. Her voice wasn't loud, but it was as cold as ice. A tall bodyguard bit the bullet and stepped forward. Sir had previously instructed that if the wanted to use emergency contacts or call a car to go out, he needed to first. What I need is for you to guarantee his absolute safety, not to make him endure sickness and pain. Ziyakian interrupted him. With suppressed anger in her eyes, if something really happened to him, which of you could take the responsibility? The bodyguards kept quiet out of fear, not daring to argue further. At this time, the emergency room door opened. A doctor walked out. Ziyakian immediately went up to him. Doctor, how is my husband? Acute gastroenteritis. The patient is too thin and usually eats very little. This time he ate too much at once. The burden on the stomach was too heavy, triggering severe cramps and vomiting. We have already administered medication. The pain has eased now. Well, continue with IV fluids and observe. It's nothing serious. Don't worry. The suspended heart finally dropped heavily, followed by a feeling of exhausting weakness. But mostly it was relief. Ziyakian let out a long sigh of relief. Thank you, doctor. Can I go in and see him now? Yes, but the patient needs rest now. Please keep quiet. Yakian nodded, gently pushed the door open and walked in. I was lying on the hospital bed with my eyes closed. My face was still a bit pale, with a needle stuck in the back of my hand, and the clear liquid medicine dropping slowly, drop by drop. Hearing footsteps, my eyelashes fluttered, and I opened my eyes. Seeing it was her, a trace of very fast, complex emotion flashed in my eyes, like surprise, or maybe something else, and then was covered by a layer of weakness. Didn't you have an important meeting? My voice was a bit hoarse. An imperceptible light flashed across Ziyakian's dark eyes, as she asked gently, How did you know? The second female lead suspects the male lead might have purposely called her away from the bidding meeting. The second female lead is prepared, even if she isn't present. Her subordinates aren't pushovers. The male lead cries, and the second female lead comes running like a dog. Support the second female lead. Imprison the male lead. I want to see imprisonment play. I had originally planned to explain to Z Yakian anyway. After all, in my current memory, Z Yakian is the person I'm familiar with. I received a message on my phone today, telling me to stall. What did you say? What important meeting? Z Yakian. You have to believe me. I have amnesia right now. Even if we don't get along, I wouldn't help other people to go against you, let alone that I don't know her right now, even if I did know her. I couldn't screw up your career like this. Z. Yakian was moved by my words. If only it could always be like this. Z. Yakian tried to take my phone. If it were in the past, I would definitely be very nervous. This time, I took my own phone, unlocked it, and handed it to her. Then she saw the reconciliation messages sent by Yuan T and the sweet talk. Her eyes darkened again. After reading the messages, indeed, as I said, I really didn't agree. Me coming to the hospital is purely a coincidence. Wasn't I just looking at my 6-year-old self being too thin? And thought about eating more to nourish my body. Who knew I'd be this fragile right now? Z. Yakian hadn't heard me babbling to her, saying so much in a long time. I wished I could take all the trivial matters happening to me and tell them all to her. It seems I really have forgotten Yuan Tiantian. She can see me in her eyes again. Ziakian stayed with me in the hospital while I got the 4 drip. Outside the window, the night was as dark as ink. In the hallway, the light footsteps of nurses occasionally sounded. The liquid in the 4 bottle fell at a steady pace. As if measuring time, I leaned against the cold hospital bed, my face still a bit pale, but my eyes were surprisingly bright. As if eager to fish out a forgotten past from the fog, I asked a lot. All about those 6 years. All the things I've forgotten. Ziakian initially gave only brief answers, and even tried to change the subject. Those 6 years for her were countless silences where she hesitated to speak. It was watching helplessly as my back walked towards someone else. It was the jealousy and powerlessness buried deep in her heart that almost devoured her. Those were the most unpleasant 6 years between her and me. She didn't want to mention it, not a single word. But whenever she was about to go completely silent, her gaze would always meet my looking eyes. In them, there was no gloom or longing brought by memories, only pure curiosity. As clear as an early autumn stream, reflecting none of the dust from the past. Facing such a pair of eyes, she found herself unable to build a high wall. Those bitter fragments were eventually coaxed out of her by me bit by bit. That Yuan, whatever. How did I meet her? Z. Yaxon's fingers unconsciously stroked the edge of the bed rail, the chill of the metal passing through her fingertips. Her voice was flat and straightforward, impossible to discern any emotion, only she herself knew. That the old jealousy in her chest was faintly burning again. Yuan Taeantian is a graduate student at our school. After you sprained your ankle, I was the one who took you to the campus hospital. She paused, as if she could still feel the weight of me leaning on her back then. Later, every time for a checkup and dressing change, I went with you. However, the last time you were basically healed. I saw you walking fine without much trouble. And I also had things to do that day, so I didn't accompany you to the hospital. That's when you met her. Just one absence. Just that one time, I guarded by your side every single time, never leaving your side. But couldn't compete with fate's one seemingly unintentional, misplaced arrangement. Making Ekin fall in love at first sight with another woman. Thinking about it even now, it's like a tiny thorn, piercing the softest part of my heart. And then, as if listening to a story that has nothing to do with me, you started having secrets back then. Sneaking around every day, and absent-minded. My project was at a critical stage, and I was so busy my days and nights were reversed. When I had the time and energy to look for you, you ran to tell me that you were going to confess your love to Yuan. The hospital room was quiet for a moment, with only the faint hum of the medical equipment. Then how exactly did we get married? My brows slowly furrowed, as I once again asked the question that had been hovering in my mind since waking up in the morning and puzzling me the most. Later, you discovered that Yuan Tiantian was not only being ambiguous with you, but more importantly, she already had a fiancé arranged by her family. You were so angry that you came to me for a flash marriage. You were like an abandoned puppy back then. And my heart softened, so I agreed. Z. Yakian lead. The truth is that she wanted it, but couldn't get it. It was when she was full of regret that I gave her a chance. I am the third party. I was made the third party. I abruptly sat up straight from my leaning position, my voice suddenly raising due to shock and anger, pulling the needle on the back of my hand slightly. As the words came out, I was in disbelief at first. Then, a sense of absurdity surged into my heart. I really didn't know what expression to make. I asked Ziakian about the events of these 6 years. I wanted to hear her answer, and I was even more curious about what the bullet comments would say. Fighting the female lead is love at first sight, childhood sweetheart. Can never beat the unexpected arrival of the second female lead. Not unfair. The female lead is fake to everyone else. Only true to the male lead? Come on. The female lead flirts everywhere. How many times has the male lead broken down for her? As the successor of the Yuan family, with her dad having so many illegitimate children, she naturally needs to seize power first. Marriage alliance is a tactic. Except for the male lead, it's all just putting on a show. Then why didn't she cancel the engagement and be with the male lead? When the male lead was cyberbullied and called a third party, she hit again. Is this called love? The bullet comments argued fiercely. I listened to Zhi Yaxin's concise, yet highly informative narrative regarding Yuan Tianqian's past 6 years, slowly piecing together a complete picture in my mind. In the end, it's just a glitched and hurtful story. She is ambitious and wants to grasp family power, but also can't let go of her romantic feelings. So while she uses promises of true love to coax me, she also maintains an engagement with a fiancé who can bring her benefits. Playing both sides, until the matter was exposed, I bore all the infamy, and the person who said she loved me might not be willing to stand out and protect me right away. This plot is simply like an old-school melodramatic romance novel. I really can't figure it out. Is such a stupid person really me? This is not my style at all. How could I be this stupid? The liquid in the 4 bottle finally dropped to the end. I could finally leave the hospital full of the smell of disinfectant. My eyes glued to that Rolls Royce. My pupils lighting up again and again. Your car is too cool. My fingers gently traced across the smooth car door. 28 million? I suddenly turned my head. My tone mixed with a trace of unwilling melancholy. If I hadn't bumped into that Yuan whatever Tiantian back then, wouldn't I also have succeeded in starting a business? And made a fortune. And then I could buy luxury mansions and cars with my own ability. I paused, lifting my chin slightly. With a bit of a spiteful imagination, I could even sponsor a female model or something. Sponsor what? None of your business. I just want to keep a female model. My great youth inexplicably lost 6 years. 6 years. I haven't even properly held the hand of someone of the opposite sex. Woke up and was directly tied together with you. What's wrong with me wanting to sponsor a female model? Just when I was getting the foredrip, that brief warm atmosphere had already dissipated without a trace. Facing Zhi, I returned to our interaction mode from many years ago, saying whatever I want. Without any scruples, getting in the car to go home, I deliberately bypassed her, went straight to open the rear door. Lifted my foot and sat in, treating her exactly like an exclusive driver. Zhi Yaqian looked at my childish yet vibrant appearance, and that familiar feeling surged into her heart again. Her red lips couldn't help but curve into a smile. She opened the back door, struggling to pull me out. I rarely get to see such a childish side of Zhi Yaqian, so I followed her force and let her stuff me into the passenger seat. You're really treating me as a driver. To be able to be a driver for this young master, you should be secretly happy. Zhi Yaqian didn't speak anymore. The Rolls-Royce silently slid into the night. Heading towards the Zhi residence, arriving at the door, I shamelessly stayed in the passenger seat, letting Zhi Yaqian stubbornly and childishly pull me. The servants waiting at the door of the Zhi residence, when had they ever seen the young lady? And the son-in-law in such an intimately close scene? In the past, it was either cold glares at each other or fierce arguments. But today, it's like their personalities have changed. One is messing around. One is laughing. It seems this young couple's relationship finally shows signs of breaking the ice. Zhi Yaqian held my arm, walked through the corridor, and went straight into the master bedroom, taking the opportunity to make me sit on the bed while she blushed. This unexpected gentleness made me freeze for a moment and blurt out, "You've changed quite a bit. You want to say I'm old again, don't you? Don't forget we are the same age. You are even a week older than me. So are you trying to say indirectly that I'm old?" Zhi Yaqian turned and walked towards the closet, a faint smile pulling at the corners of her mouth. "You go take a shower first. We are going to sleep together." My thoughts immediately went off track, thinking about what might happen after taking a shower, and I asked warily, "Yes, I will also put a chain on you. To prevent you from running away in the middle of the night? This is illegal imprisonment. I'm going to call the police." "All right. Call them. We are a legal married couple." If I tell the police, this is flirting between a married couple, do you think they will care? Zhi Yaqian, you female hooligan. When I came out of the bathroom, wearing only pajamas, Zhi Yaqian felt embarrassed for a moment for some reason. Got up and also slipped into the bathroom. Right at this moment, the screen of the phone left outside lit up. "Boss Zhi, the bidding project results are out. We won. Yuan Corporation is out." Zhi Yaqian finished showering, quickly dried her body, and pushed open the bathroom door. But the bedroom was empty, and I was nowhere to be seen. Zhi Yaqian's breath caught, as if suddenly falling into an ice cave. Did Econ lie to me again and disappear from my world once more? With an imperceptible tremble, Without any response, an ominous premonition almost drowned her. Kiao Chen. Someone come and find the immediately, right now. Right at this moment, with a soft click. At the end of the corridor, my door was pulled open a crack. Stop yelling. My face was full of the dissatisfaction of being disturbed, and my tone was very aggressive. Wailing like a ghost in the middle of the night? Are you going to let people sleep or not? Seeing that I was still there, Z Yakian finally felt relieved. I looked at her almost frantic appearance, and suddenly felt a wave of guilt. Before transmigration, when I sprained my ankle, Z Yakian helped me to the campus hospital, scolding me non-stop. Kiao Chen, look at you showing off. Now you deserve it. Scolding non-stop. You sprained your ankle. Just keep showing off. Be careful you don't sprain the other one too. Before she finished speaking, I deliberately shook my leg, and she immediately shut up. Although the 20-year-old Z Yakin had a sharp tongue, whenever anything happened to me, she always appeared immediately, even if it was a meaningless small matter. The 6-year-old Z Yakian has a cold attitude towards me, but still cares about me. My mind is young now, and not the same age as her, so I didn't have many scruples when speaking. You secretly have a crush on me. It wasn't a question. Without even a hint of hesitation, my tone was too certain. Z Yakian stopped her steps abruptly. Crush on your head. Come back to the room with me. You are not allowed to stay here. The bullet comments exploded again. I hastily scanned those arguing bullet comments, without getting a single piece of useful information, and had no mood to investigate further. Ziakian was already standing in front of me. Walk back yourself. Or should I get someone to carry you? Her eyes were cold, and what she said wasn't a discussion. It was a notification. I looked away guiltily and said, I'll just sleep in the guest room. It's not like I'm going to run away. I'm not interested in you. Look how thin you've become. I subconsciously looked at myself. I am very thin, sickly hands. In her eyes, I caught a fleeting trace of pain, as if while hurting me, she also cut herself. Then why do you insist on tying me up? I know too many things have happened over the years. Her way of treating us is related to this, and related to the memories I lost, right? Before we got married, you were tangled up with Yuan Ti, turning yourself into a shadow of a person. After getting married, I gave you freedom at first. After the first time you saw her, you came back and went on a hunger strike for 3 days, demanding a divorce from me. I didn't agree, but I didn't restrict you from going to see her either, and even sent bodyguards to secretly protect you. Not seeing you again? It was you who cried and told me at the door of the house that Yuan Tiantian and her fiancé were getting engaged. You got hurt several times because of her again. I forgot to tell you. She already has a fiancé now. She has a fiancé but still strings you along, poaching many of Z Corporation's cooperations through your connections, sucking nutrients from you and me. To strengthen herself, she didn't fulfill her promise to marry you, and didn't even cancel her engagement, yet you still slit your wrists and tried to commit suicide for her, swallowing sleeping pills and making a huge scene. Even when her childhood sweetheart needed a kidney transplant, you wanted to donate yours to him? Fortunately, I stopped it and locked you at home. Otherwise, you wouldn't just be skin and bones now. You'd be a pile of bones long ago. From then on, I had people watch you during the day and locked you up to sleep with me at night. Don't even think about running away. Is this me? Isn't this a big fool, Chen? Is this really me? The more I listened, the uglier my face became. Falling into deep doubt, is there something wrong with the worldview of this novel's author? I really cannot respect this. But I didn't dwell on it too much. Anyway, I've forgotten it all, so I might as well defend myself. Then, haven't I forgotten it now? To prevent you from suddenly remembering and making a scene again, you must go back with me. You don't need to resist. I am not interested in you. I compromised, moved by her loyalty of not abandoning me for so many years. Although Ziakian has a sharp tongue, she can be considered family who has never abandoned me. Fine. I look at myself and have no interest either. Ziakian took me back to the master bedroom, skillfully used the chain to tie us together. She kept her word and slept on the other side of the bed. I still couldn't sleep. This bed is really comfortable. Yakian had been tired all day and had been frightened twice. She commanded me, saying, "Go to sleep." The next morning, the faint sound of clinking was exceptionally clear in the quiet room. Yakian got up first. Her movements very light, but the metallic clinking still drilled into the edge of my consciousness. So noisy. No classes this morning. Can you just let me get a good sleep? I frowned and subconsciously buried my face in the pillow. Get up and eat breakfast first. A person's voice. You want to sleep? Sleep after eating breakfast. I closed my eyes, my muddled brain struggling to function. Where did a woman come from in the dorm? Immediately after, memory fragments violently pieced together, like being burned. I suddenly sat up. Your memory is quite good. Still remembering there are no classes in the morning, I didn't answer. Sitting on the bed, I fell into deeper daze and contemplation. The events of 6 years ago felt like yesterday, but the woman in front of me, and the subtle different feelings of my body, were all silently telling me that 6 years had indeed passed. This is not right. Very wrong. Amnesia causes forgetting. How could I remember things from further back so clearly, but only lose? The long 6 years in between, a more bizarre, more siffy thought uncontrollably popped up. Could I have Go down and eat breakfast. Eat a little less today. Don't end up in the hospital from eating like yesterday, I said, and watched her slender figure leave. The door was gently closed. I jerked backwards, pulled the blanket over my head, and continued wrestling with that shocking conjecture in the dim light. I'm late. My whole body stiffened, instantly pulling down the blanket. My sharp gaze swept across the empty room. Who is in the room? Hello, Xiao Chen. I am not in the room. I am in your brain. Auditory hallucinations in the brain, schizophrenia, a precursor to splitting. I could no longer stay calm. I threw off the blanket, jumped out of bed, and rushed out of the room barefoot, running downstairs all the way while holding my head, hoping to shake that eerie voice out. Yakian, who was eating breakfast in the dining room, heard this terrified scream, immediately dropped her cutlery and rushed towards the stairs. She had only taken a few steps up when she collided with me hidden. What's wrong? Her gaze quickly swept across my pale face. I grabbed her arm like grasping a life-saving straw, speaking very fast, my voice still trembling. I heard a strange voice. It said it was in my brain. Yakin, is there really something wrong with me? Schizophrenia. Having auditory hallucinations? What are you talking about? Your voice. Yakian just frowned slightly. Looking at me in confusion, my pouring out stopped abruptly. Are you deaf? I care about you. And you actually call me deaf. This questioning entered her ears clearly. Yakian's face turned cold, looking like she had been let down. I just said so much. And you didn't hear a single word? I said you are deaf, and your ears are quite sharp for that. I was both anxious and angry. Fear was temporarily suppressed by anger. You really didn't make any sound just now. Amnesia, auditory hallucinations, and now signs of aphasia. She didn't dare to delay. Let's go to the hospital right now. Right at this moment, that voice sounded in my head once again, carrying a soothing tone. Host, don't be afraid. I am not a pervert, and you don't have schizophrenia. I am System 0137. System 0137. My struggling stopped. My chaotic thoughts were led by this sudden term. Towards a completely new direction, I repeated unconsciously, yes, host. System 0137's voice was steady and unwavering. Sorry, I should have met you yesterday. But headquarters called a meeting. Only meeting you now? Additionally, you cannot directly mention my existence. In front of other people, related speech will be automatically blocked. We can talk directly in the bathroom. This way, it's both safe. And you won't be considered mentally abnormal by the outside world. So that's how it is. It wasn't that Yaki was deaf. It was those words that were blocked. I suddenly realized my tense nerves miraculously relaxed, and I even developed a trace of absurd curiosity. 137 sounds like the last 4 digits of a phone number, I muttered in my consciousness. System 0137 was silent for a moment, and then an emoticon was directly projected into my consciousness. There are even sticker packs. I widened my eyes in surprise, and almost shouted out in reality. Kiachen. Yakians, calling, pulled me back to reality. Looking at the rapidly changing expressions on my face, her inner anxiety reached its peak. Amnesia yesterday, experiencing aphasia and auditory hallucinations, and now staring blankly at the air, with weird expressions, with overlapping symptoms. It really wasn't optimistic. Are you okay? We must go to the hospital right now. I completely snapped out of it. Seeing the undisguised worry and resolution in her eyes, I hurriedly waved my hands, trying to make my expression look normal. I'm fine. Just had a bit of morning grumpiness, and my brain is still a bit confused. Let's eat breakfast. I'm hungry. Yakian was half believing and half doubting. After breakfast, before she went to work at the company, she called the family doctor. When the family doctor was examining me, a middle-aged man rushed in crying. Son-in-law, please put in a good word for me with the miss. Don't fire me. My mind is only 20 years old now. I had never seen a scene of an elder kneeling to me. I hurriedly reached out to help him up. Please get up first. If you have something to say it slowly. Son-in-law, my family has elderly to support and 2 sons, who are still in college. I really cannot lose this job. The bodyguards quickly reported the villa situation to Ziek. The new number changed just yesterday. Yuan Tiantian actually got the news on the same day. There really is a mole in the house. Yuan Tiantian kept an eye on the company's overt movements, while also playing hard to get with deliberately teasing him. Does she really think I Ziekayan am just a decoration? After hearing what the man had done, the bit of sympathy in my heart completely dissipated. Keeping someone who betrays their master for glory and has their feet in multiple boats by your side is no different from planting a mine. It's too dangerous. If you can betray Ziyakian today, you can betray others tomorrow. Today it's passing messages. Tomorrow you might harm someone's life. Someone like you, the Z family cannot afford to use. I will settle your wages according to market standards. If you continue to pester unreasonably, I will sue you for violating the employee code of conduct and demand compensation. The bodyguard relayed my words verbatim to Z. Yakian's originally cold expression gradually softened. The family doctor's examination results showed I am fine, just too thin. Z Yaxin's mood completely cleared up. This is the happiest day I've had in recent years. I hope Econ plays out this amnesia a little longer, but this time I will absolutely never let you escape again. Econ seems to have really forgotten. Then don't ever think of remembering. Stay by my side forever. Stay by my side willingly. Returning to the bedroom and lying down, I started talking to the system in my brain. 0137, can you change this code name? People who don't know would think the takeout has arrived. Yes. How do you wish to call me? Stop using you formally. I feel like I'm still quite young. Can you adjust this speaking mode? It's too calm. Ice cold. Okay, it can all be adjusted. How do you feel about a lively and friendly type? Sure, as long as it's not so much like a robot. Otherwise, I really have no desire to chat. As for the name, first introduce what functions you have. I am from the male lead department. My main task is to save the male lead. Simply put, I'm here to help you. What do I need saving from? Is it Z, Yakin locking me up, or Yuan Tiantian hurting me? Host, there is something I must tell you first. You need to mentally prepare yourself. The world we are in is actually a novel. This I know. How could you know? You shouldn't. I just arrived and haven't said anything yet. Did other characters tell you? And you believed him just like that. That's not right either. Do you have anything you want to say? I can see bullet comments. Is this considered a bug in your system? A mistake. I was recalled just after arriving yesterday and accidentally turned on the bullet comment function for the meeting. So you've already understood this world through the bullet comments? Not really. The bullet comments are just fighting the landlord or arguing all day long. There isn't much useful information. I only know incompletely. The male lead, Z Yaxin, is the female villain, and there's a female lead addicted to cheating, while you are not allowed to talk about yourself like that. The male lead needs to be confident and strong. This world was born because of you. The female lead and second female lead indeed should be severely criticized. Are you sure? I am the center of the world? Then why do all resources, connections, and benefits flow to the female lead? I'm still so thin now. I even find my bones uncomfortably protruding. This is a very old novel. Back then, the trope of physical and mental abuse and broken families was popular. But now this kind of style is no longer popular. The novel world goes through reincarnations again and again, but the last few times, this small world has gradually deviated from its track, especially the last time. After the second female lead turned dark, she directly killed the female lead and finally committed suicide in front of your tomb. All main characters died. The world rebooted. And in this reincarnation, the second female lead's movement trajectory has shown anomalies again. Wait, what did you say? I died. Aren't I the male lead? How could I die? Who is the center of this world? The female lead is the author's biological child, and the male lead is adopted, right? Why must I die? Do I have to die before I die? You have to take that Goldiger Yuan Tiantian away first. BZZ? System 0137 detects a disorder alarm? Host, please calm down a bit. Our system is here to help you achieve a happy ending? If it's to correct the original plot, and let me have a beautiful ending with Yuan Ti, then I might as well go stab her to death right now. Who is this kind of ending meant to disgust? Who likes this kind of woman? Then they can just spend their whole life with a person like her. Calm down. Our male lead department has high authority. Moreover, that old set of tropes is no longer popular now. You can decide your ending. You can choose the second female lead to take the top spot. Or you can take the solo-op male lead route without a romantic pairing. That's more like it. I hope I can have a happy and reunited good ending. How about I name you Okay, host. Our goal is happiness and perfection. Happy cooperation in the future. You still haven't said what functions you have. How do you plan to help me? Your bullet comment function is both a help and a harassment. They argue every day. It's so annoying. Tuan apologizes. Sorry, host. I will turn it off right now. If you want to see it later, you can readjust it in the bathroom. You need to complete the main quest. To achieve your happiness progress, every time you reach a stage, a reward can be unlocked. The final grand prize is growing old together. If you don't have a romantic partner, you can also safely reach the end of your life alone. Is growing old together even considered a grand prize? What if I'm unlucky, and the person I choose betrays me again? What should I do? You can replace her at any time. The person you newly choose will continue to inherit this grand prize. The male lead system will always put the male lead first. I'm fairly satisfied. I still have a question. I was clearly still in college a couple of days ago. Now I've been married for 4 years. Why is this about this? Listen to myself. No. Listen to my explanation. At the very beginning of the story, I took you to headquarters to connect to the old terminal. Of course. Novel characters won't have any memory of headquarters. I spent too much time upgrading the system. You and I were supposed to arrive at headquarters 6 years ago. Network lag delayed my headquarters upgrade. One day there is 1 year in the small world. I wanted to salvage it and return to at least when you just got married. But I didn't make it back. And even arrived at a worse present where both body and mind have been harmed. I am a college student. Are you too? But you are too unreliable. What are you even getting angry at? I am a newly graduated from college this year. System, and you are my very first host. What? Are you reliable? I myself am not very reliable anyway. I'm starting to doubt your abilities now. I have confidence. I believe you will definitely be happy. I asked. This world is missing 6 years for no reason. Then was I here or not during these 6 years? But this world has me, and is still following the novel's plot. These 6 years were the world's program running, commonly known as automatic control. Then, since it can automatically control everything, what do you need me for? Logically speaking, this novel's plot is that I would also go down this development path. Automatic control would also reach this program. Then, what's the difference between me and it? Moreover, this is too different from my own personality. It doesn't seem like something I could do at all. The difference is that the automatically controlled body getting hurt has no sense of pain, has no emotions, has no thoughts. But you do. Since I have thoughts, how could I do such stupid things? That wasn't me. Absolutely not me. Others just finish following the script and that's it. You are different. The beginning and the ending are not controlled by the plot. You can live however you want. Only the middle section is the plot. That person being manipulated was not me at all. Just a marionette puppet, living according to a script written by someone else. Not doing whatever I want myself. The me in the plot and I are completely two different people. I cannot understand his thoughts and ways of doing things at all. And I couldn't do them either, making me act stupid again and again. Time after time, one time is fine. It's impossible to be this stupid every time. It's normal for you to feel that the one in the script isn't you. The one tied down by the plot is not the real you at all. Only you yourself. Living out your true nature freely is the real you. No matter what, I will not admit those 6 years were mine. It's too brain dead. I couldn't do such things. By the way, what is your ability? My ability is to turn back time 3 times. Turn back time for me too, 6 years ago, right now. Let's start the mission from 6 years ago. Turning back time can only be done in the short term. Fine. Keep this skill for now. What are the stage rewards for the main quest? You say this is the main quest, meaning besides the main quest, there are also side quests, right? The reward is a blind box. What can be opened from it? I don't know either. Side quests will be randomly issued based on the characters you meet. You can choose to do them or not. Sounds quite interesting. Z Corporation successfully secured the project, bringing a project that guarantees profit and no loss into their pocket, which means Z Corporation will break through the encirclement. Among many neck-and-neck companies, the night Yuan Tiantian learned the result, she locked herself inside the CEO's office on the top floor of Yuan Corporation building. The whole floor was left with only her. The notification email of the bidding result was still coldly displayed on the computer screen. Every word pierced her eyes like a needle. She slowly stood up, walked to the floor-to-ceiling window. Looking at the dazzling night view of High City, this business empire she thought she was about to take control of now seemed to be mocking her incompetence. She started smashing things crazily. After venting, she stood panting amidst the mess. Long hair, loose, broken hair on her forehead soaked in sweat. Her phone screen lit up, showing a call from Fiansky Yabai. She didn't answer, just stared at the flashing name, her eyes cold and gloomy. 3 months ago, in order to secure the government bid and strive for the Key family's 500 million capital injection, Yuan Tiantian signed a VAM agreement with Key Yabai. If the project succeeds, the Key family gets a 15 fund taram share. If the project fails, she must repay the principal and interest at 20 fund taram annual interest within 3 years and mortgage it with her 8 fund taram original equity. She also made a military pledge to her father, Yuan Fentai. A military pledge, Yuan Fentai, although seemingly retired to the second line, is the actual power holder. He only recognizes ability, not family ties. He already has many children, and illegitimate children outside. This time, Yuan Tiantian suffered a disastrous defeat, and her status was completely shaken. The next morning, Yuan Tiantian barely pulled herself together. Trying to regroup, she contacted several small and medium-sized tech companies that previously showed interest in cooperating, and started advancing some secondary projects, hoping to use short-term performance to win back her father's trust. Around noon, the phone call from Qi Yaibai father, Qi Jinping, came as expected. After some beating and pressuring, the call hung up. The smile on Yuan Tiantian's face vanished instantly. Her eyes were terrifyingly cold and gloomy. A few seconds later, the phone was fiercely slammed onto the newly replaced desk. The old fox actually dared to. I alone. Both of them want to step on me at this time. Xi Yaqian became busier because of securing the government project. But no matter how busy she would immediately check the messages sent by the bodyguard every hour. Regarding my condition at home, it's been 3 hours. I haven't left the room at all. Xi Yaqian has always been the most attentive to me, feeling uneasy and sensing something was wrong. When a child is quiet, they must be making trouble. She had the bodyguard go knock on the door, to go to the villa to check what the young master was doing. Young master, are you inside? In playing games. What is it? The young master is playing games inside. It's nothing. Hearing that, I was fine. Xi Yaqian's uneasy heart finally settled. For the next few days, Xi Yaqian worked at the company during the day, and I continued playing games at home. During this time, I wanted to go out, but was completely rejected by Xi Yaqian. At night, the two of us were restrained by a gold chain, lying at opposite ends of the large bed, more than a meter apart. The only inconvenience was, in order to gain weight quickly, I would eat several extra meals every day, and also eat and drink before going to bed. Using the bathroom at night would wake up Xi Yaqian. Waking up midway through the night made Xi Yaqian's sleep worse. After a period of time, everyone in Z Corporation was secretly gossiping about me, causing their CEO, the eldest, young lady, a whole lot of trouble. Yuan Tiantian wanted to win back her father's trust, so she was busy cooperating with small companies. Regarding the matter of me scolding her at the bidding meeting and blocking her, she was originally very angry, but felt that I still listened to her in the end, and stalled Xi Yaqian, keeping her from entering the venue, believing I still had her in my heart and was just throwing a tantrum. It's a pity her subordinates were useless. Even if Xi Yaqian didn't go, the project was still lost. Later she found out I was hospitalized to help her, and took the time to send messages caring for me. I didn't reply. She thought I lost contact because my freedom was restricted, so she sent a few texts to my old phone number, keeping them for future confrontation. It has been half a month since I transmigrated to this world. The initial novelty had long been worn away by these confined days, every day opening my eyes to this luxurious yet cold bedroom, scrolling through short videos to watch other people's lives, making my finger joints sore and painful from swiping. I lay paralyzed on the bed, threw the phone to the side, and called System Tuanyuan. Can the main and side quests still be unlocked? I can't even see anyone. Playing games in the room every day. Am about to get tenosynovitis? Host, how about we sneak out? If I run out, won't it be exactly like the original plot? Wasn't the original plot Xi Yaqian imprisoning me, and I wanted to escape, and then got hurt by Yuan Tian, and caught back by Xi Yaqian? My body is so weak, I might just drop dead halfway through running. What you say is true. Then you nurse your body back to health first. The body is the capital. No matter what mission you do, you need a good physique. By the way, speaking of nursing your body, host, if you can restore your weight to a normal state, it will count as completing the first stage mission of the happiness goal. What did you say? Nursing the body back to health is also completing the goal. Yes, a happy ending. Physical and mental health is the first step. What is the standard for health? At the very least, several indicators meet health standards. No other diseases. Host, for you it's about gaining weight. I worked hard for half a month and only gained 3 or 4 jin. Host, Your height is 188.8 centimeters. Your weight must be at least 140. Below this value is very unhealthy. I looked at my emaciated self, nodded, and threw down the phone. Starting today, I should eat a little more. Thump, thump, thump went downstairs and found Nanny Wong. Nanny Wong, starting today. Make me some food to gain weight and nourish my body. Just make whatever is nourishing. Okay, young master, rest assured. It'll definitely fatten you up solid. But this interpretation seems a bit off. At the dinner table, I looked at the table full of delicacies and started to feast. Yakian's gaze slowly swept across the dining table. Grilled oysters, medium well steak, tender deep-sea fish, bright green chives scrambled with eggs, Sichuan dabu, soup 10-ingredient restorative soup, with goji berry tea on the side. This combination is just too blatantly obvious. Miss, the young master specifically ordered this afternoon, saying that starting today, we need to make some highly nutritious meals to replenish key blood and nourish the body. The young master is very thoughtful. The corner of Yakian's mouth twitched. She looked at me. I was busy eating, holding an oyster shell with one hand and slurping it, and using the other hand to fork beef into my mouth. Yakian closed her eyes for a moment and told Nanny Wong to step down first. In the dining room, only the sound of bowls and chopsticks clinking and me chewing hard remained. Is it good? It's good. Nanny Wang's cooking is really good. The soup is especially fresh. I burped without any image. Yakian looked at me, with only appreciation for the food in my eyes and no other deep meaning. She suddenly felt that her previous associations were a bit presumptuous. She picked up her chopsticks with a natural expression and started eating. Hurry up and eat. There's so much. If you don't eat ill, eat it all. After saying that, I filled another bowl of soup for myself. Determined to carry out the weight gain plan to the end, Yakian watched me devouring the food like a whirlwind. Her eyelids started twitching again, and she reminded me seemingly casually, eat a little less. Overeating. Be careful your stomach can't take it and you end up in the hospital like last time. I was feeling very pleased inside, calculating how many ounces of flesh this meal could add. Tuan Yuan is also monitoring my intake in real time. Currently, it's still far from the warning line. I know what I'm doing, and I picked up another piece of chive. Yakian watched me eat happily and ended up eating a lot more herself. The night was deep. She lay on the bed just over a meter away from me. Her body temperature was higher than usual, and her mood was faintly fluctuating along with it. Econ's recent appearance really looks exactly like he forgot everything. That happened over the past years. It doesn't look like it's deliberately acted out. This unfamiliarity and indifference couldn't be acted out for this long, and so realistically, Yakian's thoughts unconsciously drifted back to before she was 20. Drifted back to that time of youth. Those feelings that had long been silenced and withered, when facing him after his amnesia, unexpectedly quietly revived. That restless heart once again became vibrant and burning hot. But how could I guess the tossing and turning in her heart? At first, I was resistant to sharing a room and a bed with her. After getting along for half a month, I gradually became certain that Yakian simply didn't want me to contact Yuan T and wholeheartedly protected my safety. Besides that, in other matters, she seemed to have no other intentions. After living these days of heavy nourishment for a week, because I ate quite a lot every day, my weight obviously increased a lot. My previously slightly thin arms and legs were all covered with a layer of flesh. One early morning, I quietly stepped on the scale and saw the pointer steadily stop at 110 jin. I couldn't help but curl up the corners of my mouth, looking left and right at myself in the mirror. But Yakian, who was making progress alongside me, in her body, it was as if a smoldering fire had been quietly lit. At first, it was just tossing and turning at night. After all, her body wasn't weak. Later on, it actually became a faint torment. She often woke up suddenly late at night and could only use the faint light to quietly stare at me sleeping soundly beside her. I was completely unaware of this, looking at me with such complete trust. The heat in her heart ultimately turned into helplessness. Forget it, better take it slow. She couldn't bear to wake up the sleeping me, nor did she want to force herself to take a cold shower, and couldn't bring herself to explain to me it was another night. The familiar heat struck. Deeper than before, fine sweat seeped from Yakian's forehead. She gently lifted the blanket and used the key to unlock the chain on her hand. I drowsily rolled towards the middle, just touching the skin of her arm. She almost fled into the bathroom, wanting to wash away her strange thoughts. When I woke up in the morning, I had absolutely no idea what happened yesterday. As usual, I got up, went downstairs, and ate. Yakian looked at my increasingly healthy complexion and was very happy inside. Yakian, it's too boring at home. I want to go out. Also, I think I need a job. I'm at your house every day now. Acting like a pig isn't a solution. Yakian heard me describe myself like this and couldn't help but smile. Econ is still the same as before, even cursing himself when he gets ruthless. I know you don't want me to go out, but I'm about to get moldy at home. I'm not the Kiao Chen who would do anything for a woman anymore. I am that 20-year-old Kiao Chen. I want to make progress and work hard. Be positive and sunny. I want to have a job. Any job is fine. If I don't know how, I can learn slowly. I don't want to be kept by you at home all the time. I feel like a pet cat or dog, not like a person. Host, you're awesome. This is the real you. Indeed, the you bound by the plot is not real. Look at how the bullet comments are praising you. I just want to be the master of my own life. It's okay not to be too excellent, but I must have the right to decide for myself and do what I want to do. What I want to do right now is get a job, integrate into society, and be independent. Be my own Econ. I haven't seen him for many years. Oh yeah, you can be my assistant and follow me every day. There are no other options. Yakian got unhappy and said angrily, "What kind of look is that? What kind of expression is that? What kind of attitude is that?" I get it. I agreed. Just thinking about being with you 24 hours a day makes me uncomfortable. Are you happy with this reason? I'm just afraid you're lying to me. What if you use work as an excuse to secretly go find that Yuan Tiantian again and end up making a huge scene again? I'll have to save you again. I just thought of what Tuan Yuan said earlier in the previous reincarnation. She killed Yuan Tiantian and then committed suicide with me. To be honest, I really don't think Yaxi would like me. After all, our relationship is just average. Even now, we can easily have an argument over breakfast. In the first 20 years of our lives, this kind of thing happened often. Arguing after barely speaking 2 sentences, and making up shortly after. I really find it hard to imagine why she would make such a decision. Could it be that Yaxi is sick, just like Yuan Ti, only realizing their own heart after a person is dead, and only then feeling regret? Oh, I know. Being your assistant, it is then. When the black sedan stopped steadily in front of the main gate of Z Corporation, the passing employees unconsciously slowed their steps. The car door opened, and the first to step out was their CEO, the eldest lady with her usual cold expression. Everyone's gaze was instantly firmly caught by me at her side. Yakian seemed oblivious to the focused gazes around her and walked straight to the exclusive CEO elevator hand in hand with me. Immediately, suppressed whispers broke out. Several bold employees quickly pulled out their phones and crazily spammed the Z Corporation frontline gossip group. What's going on? Hey, Special Assistant Ju. Boss Z brought a super handsome man over. Kiao Chen. That Kiao Chen who in memory is always hysterical and only has Yuan Tiantian in his eyes. Yakian actually brought him to the company. With a ding, the door to the exclusive CEO elevator opened again. Yakian stepped out first, closely followed by me. The top floor employees instantly sat up straight. Come to my office. Yes, Boss Z. Juju immediately gathered her thoughts and followed. Boss Z. Good morning, what are your instructions? Before Yakian could speak, I had already raised my face. With an out-of-place excitement, please help me arrange a desk. I'm starting to work here from today. Am I having auditory hallucinations? Otherwise, how could I hear? This CEO's son-in-law, who always causes trouble for the company, actually say he wants to come to work at the company. This is simply like bad news. She subconsciously looked at seeking confirmation with her eyes. Yakian nodded almost imperceptibly. At a desk in my office? And start with some simple tasks first. No, I want to sit outside with everyone else. Do as I said immediately. My request was not approved, which was expected. The current Yakian is completely a dictator. If you dare to use the excuse of going to work to sneak out, don't ever think about stepping out of the house again. I had just walked out and met dozens of pairs of eyes outside that didn't have time to fully retract, filled with gossip. Our gazes met in the air, and the atmosphere was instantly subtle and awkward. But I actually felt like I found my organization and immediately broke into a big smile, taking the initiative to step forward with a clear voice. Hello, everyone. Hello. Well, be colleagues from now on. I'm a newbie in the workplace, and I don't know anything. Please take care of me from now on. It's our duty, you are too polite. I acted as if I completely didn't notice those probing, evaluating gazes and quickly blended in naturally. After a few casual chats, the originally tense atmosphere also eased up a lot. Employee A couldn't hold back their curiosity and carefully probed Is it convenient to ask what the relationship is between you and Boss Z? I blinked and answered naturally and fluently. We are childhood friends and also old classmates, so that's how it is. Everyone suddenly realized it turns out they are childhood sweethearts. Just when they were wondering who this big shot was, Juju came over with the logistics staff, carrying brand new office desks, chairs, and computer equipment, and walked over. Seeing me surrounded in the middle, "Son-in-law, why aren't you in Boss Z's office?" Juju stopped her steps and spoke with a respectful tone. The word son-in-law was like a stone thrown into a calm lake, causing huge ripples in everyone's heart. The scene was instantly dead silent. The rumored Z son-in-law who has a terrible relationship with Boss Z? Sure enough, the man who can appear with Z can only be the Z. I really don't understand this move by the eldest, Miss Z. What they didn't know was, behind the special one-way glass of the CEO's office, Z Yakian was standing quietly. Her gaze penetrated the glass and firmly locked onto me. Her eyes surged with complex and indistinguishable emotions, probing and scrutinizing, and also a trace of forcibly suppressed possessiveness. Recently, Ekin has been very obedient, even showing the agility and vitality he had at 20, almost flawless. This might be a more clever disguise by Ekin. I need to find the flaws as soon as possible and tear off Ekon's mask. But, how I wish all of this were true. Wish time could stop right here. Wish Ekon would always be like this. The one who would smile at me, talk back to me. And also the Ekon who would only chuckle silly after being teased. Juju worked efficiently and quickly set up my workstation for me, a brand new computer, complete office supplies. Everything was ready. Having my own territory, I looked exceptionally focused. You sat properly in front of the computer all morning, sometimes frowning in thought, sometimes typing on the keyboard, unbelievably serious. Tuan Yuan, what does this report mean? What do all these numbers represent? How do I adjust the layout of this document? Why does the one I make look so ugly? School never taught this. I haven't encountered it at all. This PPT template is too tacky, isn't it? The colors are so ugly. I adhered to the principle of doing it myself to get plenty of food and clothing. First secretly searching on my phone, and when I really couldn't figure it out, urgently calling for off-site guidance, stumbling through the whole day, I actually managed to complete several basic tasks decently. Z Yakian printed out the documents I handed in and pointed to several places with the tip of her pen. The logic here doesn't make sense. The data quotation here is inaccurate. Some formats don't comply with company standards. I leaned closer to look. As she circled and explained on the paper, her voice was gentle and patient. I unknowingly followed her train of thought, watched her demonstrate revisions and adjustments, and learned her logic in handling problems. The twilight gradually dyed the outside of the window. The 5 o'clock alarm for getting off work rang on time. I, who had been fully focused just a moment ago, was instantly injected with vitality. My eyes lit up, and with lightning speed, I saved the files and shut down the computer in one smooth motion. I cheered and got up to rush out. Kiao Chen, don't you want your revision suggestions? He'll revise it tomorrow. Labor law stipulates it's time to get off work. I scurried out of the office area, leaving behind a bunch of wage earners casting envious glances silently. Who doesn't want to get off work on time? But my freedom was extremely short. Sorry. Boss Z specifically instructed that you cannot leave the company alone. Z Yaxin, I want to get off work. Come back. Leave after you finish revising the files. It's off work time now. Count it as overtime with triple pay. As an employee, leaving earlier than the boss? In other companies, you would have been fired already. I clutched my phone, looked back at the towering elevator again, and dejectedly walked back. The lights on the top floor of the elevator lit up for me again. Let's get off work. I hate working overtime. I followed Ziyakian into the elevator. It was much quieter this time. When Ziyakian drove me back to the Z residence, the night was already deep. Nanny Liu had already prepared dinner. A steaming hot meal with 6 dishes and 1 soup was set on the table, bringing a homely warmth. The two quietly finished eating. I went straight back to the master bedroom to continue dominating the canyon. While Z Yakian went to the study to handle official business, not long after, her phone vibrated. Come out for a drink. I heard you brought your husband to the company today. What's the situation? Not going, there's no situation. Don't try to fool me. You two being able to coexist peacefully for a whole day, without fighting or having a cold war, is rarer than the sun rising from the west. Fortunately, he has amnesia. Z Yakian was so annoyed, and after hastily replying a few words, she ignored it. An hour later, the doorbell rang. Nanny Wang opened the door. only to see Gu Nyanian standing at the door grinning and familiarly changing her shoes. Eldest Miss Z, I've arrived at your house. Gu Nyanian messaged Z Yakian upstairs. Where's brother-in-law? You're quite persistent. Z. Yakian subconsciously glanced at the tightly closed door of the master bedroom. Making a special trip just for this bit of gossip. Of course, it's a miracle you guys didn't start fighting. Of course I wanted to see it with my own eyes. Gu Nyanian sat up straight. With her eyes sparkling, Z Yakian said with a light tone, we are not monkeys in a zoo. Worthy of you making a special trip to visit. But speaking of which, Ikanen, wasn't he always madly in love with that Yuan Tian? Why did he suddenly change? You aren't being tricked again, are you? Back when I caused a huge uproar for Yuan Gu Nyanian as Z Yakian's best friend, often accompanied her to drink away her sorrows. Naturally, she still had lingering fears. A trace of very faint gentleness swept across Z Yakian's eyes. He got amnesia. Wait, last time he also pretended to have a headache and amnesia? To trick you into softening your heart? Did he upgrade his tactics this time? This time it's real. He doesn't even remember who Yuan Tiantian is. What if his acting skills just improved? Yakian don't fall for it again. Before she finished speaking, a faint sound of a door opening came from the second floor. Both of them looked up at the same time. I walked out wearing loungewear. I stood by the railing and looked down. With clear eyes, carrying a bit of unfamiliarity and curiosity, Gu Nyanian immediately stood up, putting on her signature bright smile. Hello, brother-in-law. Were we talking too loud? And woke you up. I walked down the stairs and nodded to her. Politely but distantly. Hello. At the same time, I urgently called System 2 and Yuan in my mind. Who is this person? Gu Nyanian, a close friend, the female lead, met during her startup period. Their relationship is very solid, considered the only person who can speak a few words of truth with Z Yakian. I suddenly met Gu Nyanian's probing gaze. I came down to get water. You guys continue. I walked to the refrigerator in the kitchen and took 2 bottles of mineral water. He actually smiled at me just now and took the initiative to say hello. Didn't he always have a cold face every time he saw me before? Looks like he really has amnesia. Ikon's memory stopped at 20 years old. He forgot the people and things from before. That's a good thing. Such a joyous occasion must be celebrated. Let's go out for a few drinks. My treat. Z Yakian froze for a moment. All right, let's go. Starting to report already? Yakian, you moved again. Z Yakian ignored her, walked to the master bedroom door and knocked gently. My slightly muffled voice came from inside. Pushing the door open, I was sitting cross-legged on the sofa, my fingers swiping quickly across the phone screen. The battle seemed intense. The screen light reflected on my face, outlining a focused silhouette. As if completely immersed in my own world, Ikon Im going out to drink with Gu Nyanian. Might be back a bit late. I didn't even look up, my eyes still glued to the screen. Oh, go ahead. I'm not tying you down with a leash anyway. The moment the words fell, Z Yakian froze imperceptibly. That sentence was like a fine needle, piercing accurately into the bottom of her heart. She wanted to say something, but all words were stuck in her throat, eventually turning into a bitter silence. She eventually said nothing, just looked at me deeply, and then gently closed the door. The lights in the bar were dim and blurred, deeply pounding against the eardrum. Z Yakian said nothing, and downed 2 glasses of strong liquor in a row. Drink slower? What are you doing? What provoked you in this short time? When the 3rd glass was raised to her lips, Z Yakian threw her head back and drank it all. Should I not keep him locked up like this? You are protecting him. Before, whenever you let go, he ran straight to Yuan Tian, causing so many problems. Which time wasn't it? You who cleaned up the mess? Now he has amnesia. The situation is unclear. You need to be extra careful. What if something happens again? He doesn't like being locked up by me. And doesn't like me. Z Yakian stared at the shaking amber liquid in the glass. Isn't that obvious? But at least Hayes not making a fuss now. This at least allows for some peace. Take it slowly. Matters of the heart cannot be rushed. But Z Yakian seemed not to hear, and poured herself another full glass. Gu Nyanian shook her head. Knowing she was destined to be a drinking buddy tonight, their outstanding looks had long attracted many gazes. Not long after, a tall and straight-postured man holding a wine glass walked over and sat in the empty seat next to Z Yakian. 2 beauties. Drinking alone is so boring. Do you want to have a drink together? Sorry. My friend is married. Can't married people make friends too? Seeing this beauty is in a bad mood. Let's chat together. I am married. The smile on the man's face stiffened for a moment. Glancing meaningfully at her bare finger, Oh, his tone became provocative. Seeing you're in a bad mood? Are you having a conflict with your husband? I'd say sometimes you have to let yourself relax. Maybe. Your husband is also having fun somewhere else right now, and you even took off your wedding ring. Why be so serious? Life is short. Isn't it better to have fun while you can? At this very moment, I was playing an online game with my friends over voice chat, rendering the opposing couple speechless and having a great time. Suddenly, without warning, I sneezed loudly. Who is thinking of me? I rubbed my nose and muttered. The temperature around Ziyakian suddenly dropped to freezing point. Get lost. The man was intimidated by the chilling coldness in her eyes and hastily fled in panic. Gu Nyanian breathed a sigh of relief. Turning her head, she saw Ziyakian looking down, staring fixedly at her own right hand. The ring finger was empty. The marriage between Ikon and me was fake from the very beginning. Ikon didn't like me before his amnesia, and still doesn't like me after his amnesia. This realization burned her internal organs more than any strong liquor. Yakian stopped talking, one glass after another. Gu Nyanian watched, feeling very uncomfortable inside, but didn't know how to advise her. In the end, seeing that Ziyakian was heavily intoxicated, she had to resignedly call her own people to safely send this ancestor back first. The night was already deep. When Ziyakian was helped out of the car by the driver, a gust of night wind blew, and her mind seemed to clear for a moment, but her steps were still unsteady. She waved away Gu Nyanian's hand, wanting to support her, and stumbled into the house by herself. Moving up the stairs step by step, Gu Nyanian saw there was nothing left for her to do, and went home feeling reassured. In front of the bedroom door, Ziyakian stopped. Leaning against the cold wall, she somewhat clumsily straightened her skirt. After doing this, she took a deep breath and grasped the cold door handle. Boss, this kill is for you. My excited voice faintly came from inside the door. Through the slightly open crack in the door, it drilled into her ears exceptionally clearly. Ziyakian's hand instantly froze on the door handle. The blood in her entire body seemed to freeze in an instant, and in the next second rushed to the top of her head with a bang. The maliciously speculative words of that man in the bar actually seemed like the most vicious proverb, coming true at this moment in such an ironic way. So Ikon didn't have amnesia. He has been lying to me all along, using an innocent look with the shadow of a 20-year-old. Using those seemingly docile actions, carefully weaving a huge lie. It turns out that where I couldn't see, Ikon is still with Ren Tiantian. Maintaining such an intimate connection? Ah, what an intimate pet name. Called Ikon countless times in dreams many years ago. Looking forward to the day Ikon could also call me this. Ikon has never called me this, not even once. Yet he called another woman this thousands and tens of thousands of times. Yakson's jealousy fermented in the alcohol breath. The slight tipsiness that had originally dissipated, now mixed with monstrous anger, the shame of being fooled surged up violently like magma. Instantly swallowing her last remaining sliver of reason, she pushed open the door fiercely. The warm and soft light in the room flowed out, forming a sharp contrast with the dimness of the corridor. I was half leaning against the headboard, wearing headphones, my fingers still quickly sliding on the screen, and was obviously startled by this sudden loud noise. I jerked my head up. My face still held the residue of the relaxed smile from interacting with my gaming friends just now. Ziyakian stood there, her cheeks flushed with an abnormal severe red, and in her eyes was a scarlet and despair I had never seen before. Her usual cold and proper demeanor was completely gone. Like a trapped beast completely stung, she stared fixedly at me, her lips trembling for a long time, before squeezing out a questioning tone with a hint of crying. Xiao Chen, you lied to me. You don't have amnesia at all? I was completely confused, and sat up straight. What did I lie to you about? I have never lied to you. Didn't lie to me. She walked in step by step, her high heels stepping on the floor, every step like stepping on the tip of a knife. Then who is the Haobao you just called out to? It's Yuan Tiantian, isn't it? You've been pretending all along. Pretending to have amnesia, pretending to be good. Pretending to only rely on me, but behind my back, still secretly connected with her. I finally realized, and raised my phone not knowing whether to laugh or cry. You mean this? This is my game teammate. A guy. I just got a pentakill. Called him Haobao to celebrate a bit? What are you imagining? Ziyakian's steps suddenly halted, her drunkenness mostly sobered up. The anger in her eyes stiffened little by little and turned into astonishment. She stared at the game interface on my phone screen, and then looked at my innocent face. The red on her cheeks instantly faded, and became pale. I softened my tone. Ziyak, I know what you are afraid of. You are afraid I will remember Yuan Tiantian. That person who would do anything for Yuan Tiantian in the past wasn't me. It was a puppet manipulated by the plot. My memory now stops at 20 years old. I only remember that we are nemesis who have fought since childhood. She turned her face away, her shoulders trembling slightly, refusing to look at me, but didn't refute it either. I got out of bed and walked in front of her. That person who would do anything for Yuan Tiantian in the past wasn't me. It was a puppet manipulated by the plot. My memory now stops at 20 years old. I only remember that we are nemesis who have fought since childhood. I remember when I sprained my ankle after getting first place in the sports meet. It was you who helped me to the campus hospital, scolding me all the way, but holding my arm, afraid to use force. I remember you used to have a sharp tongue but a soft heart. When I was short of pocket money, you were reluctant with your words, but would turn around and shove money to me. I remember you said, even if all the men in the world died, you wouldn't like me. Those were words said in anger. I know. I reached out and gently wiped the tears from her face, my movements clumsy but earnest. These past half-month, I've seen it very clearly. You say you lock me up with a gold chain? Afraid ill, run away. Afraid ill, get hurt. But you give me the best life. Gave up an important bidding meeting for me, even knowing I might be pretending. You still ran towards me every time. Z Yaxon, you are not a villain. You are the silliest and most protective person of me in this world. She jerked her head up. Tears smashed onto the back of my hand. Scalding hot. Are you really not going to look for Yuan Tiantian again? What would I look for her for? A woman who strings me along, uses me, stepping on me and Z Corporation to climb up, and refuses to give me a single word of sincerity. I'd have to have a broken brain to touch her again. That person from before wasn't me. Now I am myself. I will only stay away from trashy people. Host, you are awesome. The misunderstanding is resolved. I ignored the system, gently took Ziakian's hand, and led her to sit on the edge of the bed. For the things in the past, I apologize on behalf of that. Him. He made you suffer grievances for 6 years, made you unable to sleep peacefully every night. Made it so that even though you clearly like me, you could only use imprisonment to keep me. It was him who wronged you. But I promise you, from today onwards, Kiao Chen will never let Ziakian shed a single tear again. Z. Yakian threw herself into my arms, tightly hugging my waist, and burying her face in the crook of my neck. The grievances suppressed for 6 years finally erupted. Crying like a child, I gently patted her back, my heart full of heartache. Ziakian's so-called imprisonment was never control, but salvation. If she hadn't guarded me every step of the way, that me manipulated by the plot would have died long ago in repeated self-harm and despair. She used the clumsiest and most paranoid way to protect my life. Don't lock me with a chain anymore. I want run. If you are afraid, I'll take you wherever I go, follow you to work, and accompany you after work, and never leave for a lifetime. She lifted her eyes, red from crying, and asked softly, Really? Truer than real gold. Moreover, I want to work hard and help you manage Z Corporation. I used to drag you down. From now on, I will be your most solid backing. That night, for the first time, we didn't sleep a meter apart. I held her, and she leaned in my arms, and slept peacefully. No tossing and turning, no waking up startled in the middle of the night. Early the next morning, Z Yakian was still a bit shy when she woke up, her earlobes red. I teased her on purpose. Boss Z, who was it that was crying yesterday? She glared at me, but without her usual coldness, carrying a bit of coquettishness. Not allowed to mention it. After getting up, I directly asked the bodyguards to take away all the gold chains in the house. From now on, I will tie you with my true heart. More secure than anything else. In the following days, I completely integrated into the work at Z Corporation, from not even being able to read reports at the beginning, to later slowly learning business knowledge from Z and handling company affairs. My progress was rapid. When Ziakian taught me, she was very patient, and I was also exceptionally attentive. I just wanted to share her burden, so she wouldn't have to carry everything alone anymore. And Yuan Ti ultimately paid the price for her greed and selfishness. The government bidding project failed. Not only did she fail to get the capital injection from the Qi family, but she also owed a huge debt, and her shares in Yuan Corporation were more. Her father, who was originally ruthless and unfeeling, seeing her completely lose power, directly stripped her of all her rights in the company and supported other children to take over. Yuan Tiantian was betrayed by everyone and deserted by her followers. Her past glory vanished completely. In the end, she could only leave High City dejectedly and no longer had the ability to stir up trouble. When I heard this news, I just smiled faintly. Good and evil will eventually be rewarded. Her ending was step by step brought upon herself. She couldn't blame anyone else. When Jiyu Nyanian came to the Z residence again, she saw Ziyakian and I sitting side by side on the sofa. I was peeling oranges for her, and she leaned on my shoulder reading documents. Looking like a picture of peaceful times, she was so shocked she almost spat out the tea in her mouth. My God, Kyo Chen, you've really completely changed. In the past, you only had Yuan-Tian in your eyes. Now your eyes are full of our Not bad, not bad. You've finally seen the light. Ziyakian gently nudged Gu Nyanian, but with a smile on her lips. Don't talk nonsense. I held Ziyakian's hand and said seriously, I was blind before. Now I see clearly. Who is the person truly worth cherishing? Host, the first stage task is successfully completed. Physical health indicators have met the standards. The second stage task, guarding Ziyak, initiated. Reward blind box has been issued. Open the couple of one mind buff. From now on, your minds will be connected, and there will never be any more misunderstandings. Haha. Days went by one. My weight slowly returned to the normal standard. No longer the emaciated appearance of the past, my whole person was full of energy, high-spirited and vigorous. The relationship between Ziyakian and me grew deeper and deeper, from childhood frenemies to indispensable lovers in each other's lives. Under our joint management, Z Corporation developed better and better. The business territory continued to expand, becoming the leading enterprise in High City. The shareholders who once doubted Z now are full of praise for me. One weekend, I took Z back to our old university campus. Walking on the familiar campus path, watching the coming and going students, it was as if we returned to the year we were 20. I stopped in my tracks, looked at Ziyakian seriously, knelt on one knee, and took a diamond ring out of my pocket. I bought this with the first sum of money I earned myself. When Ziyakian was 20 years old, I sprained my ankle. You helped me walk this path. At 26 years old, I want to hold your hand and walk for a lifetime. The previous marriage was out of spite. It was salvation. It was an accident. Now I want to marry you because I love you. Will you marry me? Ziyakian's eyes moistened. She nodded vigorously, and her voice choked. I will. I put the diamond ring on her ring finger, stood up and hugged her. From now on, there are no more nemesis, only me and my wife. For a lifetime, never leaving or abandoning. Growing old together. Host, final task completed. Grand prize, growing old together has been activated. Wishing you and Ziyakian a lifetime of happiness, peace, and smoothness. I hugged the person in my arms, my heart full of satisfaction. I once thought I was a puppet trapped in a novel. My destiny was already written, and I could only head towards tragedy. But now I know. As long as I stick to my original heart, cherish true feelings, I can break free from all restraints and live the way I want to. Yakian used 6 years of paranoia and guarding. To wait for the real me to return, I will use the gentleness and companionship of the rest of my life. To repay all her grievances and waiting, in the dead of night, I looked at Ziyakian sleeping soundly beside me and gently kissed her forehead. In this life, being able to marry you is the greatest luck for me, Kyo Chen. For the rest of my life, wind and snow are you, plainness is you, poverty is you, glory is you, the tenderness in my heart is you, and everywhere my eyes look is also you.